Hello, my name's Richard Kent. Today I want to talk about the sun, which is getting smaller little by little, and that has huge implications. Now the sun, I've talked about it, you may have possibly have heard me talk about the sun before, but actually within the sun something totally supernatural happens called nuclear fusion. Every second 600,000 tons of hydrogen are converted into helium, except for 4 tons, which is released as heat, light and energy. And that is the energy source of our solar system. This is an amazing thing all of itself, but the fact is that every second 4 tons of hydrogen ceases to exist, and that energy is given off as the heat and light, and therefore the sun is getting smaller by about 5 feet per minute. Now, because the sun is so large, we're not aware of that, but actually the diameter of the sun has been charted, and here is a chart for you to have a look at to show how the diameter of the sun has been charted over over 100 years at the Greenwich Observatory. And the sun is definitely getting smaller. Now, according to the scriptures, I haven't got time to go into it now, but according to Luke chapter 3, from Adam to Jesus Christ is 4,000 years, and from Jesus to now is 2,000 years. And Jesus said that Adam was created at the beginning of the creation, so the whole universe is 6,000 years old. Now, consider this, that at the beginning, 6,000 years ago, the sun would have been very, very slightly bigger. Adam and Eve probably wouldn't have noticed any difference, and I certainly wouldn't have noticed any difference. However, the evolutionists have a totally different timescale. They say that 13.8 billion years ago, there was an explosion by a singularity, which is so small you can't see it, something with infinite mass, which exploded, and then 4.5 billion years ago, the Earth, planet Earth, evolved by planetary and stellar evolution. Don't ask me to explain it. I can't explain it because as far as I'm concerned it's absolute garbage. I'm just using their figures to explain what the evolutionists are teaching everybody in Western schools and universities. And where they tell us that 3.8 billion years ago, prokaryotic life forms started in a primordial slime by chance. Now, consider this. The sun is getting smaller by 5 feet per minute. Therefore, it used to be bigger. And if you extrapolate it backwards, guess what we find? In fact, here is a chart for you to actually see what we find. We find that 20 million years ago, the sun would be touching the Earth. I'll repeat that. 20 million years ago, the sun would be touching the Earth. Now remember that the center of the sun is 50,000 degrees centigrade, and the pressure at the center of the sun is 350 times the pressure on planet Earth. And the evolutionists like us to believe what they're saying. This is not science, by the way, it's a belief system, because they can't prove it. They want us to believe that 3.8 billion years ago, prokaryotic life forms arose by chance in the primordial slime. Well, I'm not quite sure how this comes about, because only 20 million years ago, which is a long way short of 3.8 billion years, the sun was touching the Earth. In fact, the sun would never touch the Earth because, according to the scriptures, the Earth was created 6,000 years ago. So you can see that the evolution is absolute garbage, whatever way you look at it. True science will always show that God created the universe, and true science always shows, whatever way you look at it, that evolution is a fraud. It's one of the biggest lies that's ever been perpetrated by the enemy of Christianity. Thanks for listening, and God bless you.